Madhava Jai Kunja Bihare Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihare Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Girivaradhare Jai Girivaradhare Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Shamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Girivaradhare Jai Girivaradhare Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Girivaradhare Jai Girivaradhare Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Shamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Radha, Radhanata, Radha, Radhanata, Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivracharya Asudasara Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivracharya Sudasara Srila Bhaktisanta Saraswati Maharaj ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem Sakho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Shri Radha Radhanath ki Jai. Shriman Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Shri Giri Raj Govardhan ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayadhiraye Nastaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavata Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake. Hare Krishna. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 16, Text 14. Got it? Get your phone. Asya pratihata chakram Okay, I'll just read this in the meantime, then we can do. Asya pratihatam chakram pritu amanaschalat vartate bhagavan arko yavantapi goganai. Asya pratihatam chakram pritu amanasachalat vartate bhagavan arko yavatapati goganai. Asya pratihatam chakram pritu amanasachalat vartate bhagavan arko yavatapati goganai. Asya pratihatam chakram pritu amanasachalat amanasa pritu amanasachalat vartate bhagavan arto yavatapati goganai. Asya pratihatam chakram pritur amanasachalat vartate bhagavan arko yavatapati goganai. Okay. Asya pratihatam chakram tu amanasachalat bhagavan vartate bhagavan arto vartate bhagavan arko yavatapati goganai. Asya patriyatam chakram pritu amanasachalat vartate bhagavan arko yavatapati goganai. So let's do the word for word. Asya, of this king, apratihatam, not being impeded. Chakram, the circle of influence. Prithu, of King Prithu. Amanasa Chalad, up to Manasa mountain. Vartate, remains. Bhagavan, the most powerful. Arka, sun god. Yavat, just as. Tapati, shines. Goghanai, with rays of light. So the translation is as follows. Just as the sun god expands his shining rays up to the Arctic region without impedance, the influence of King Prithu will cover all tracts of land up to the Arctic region and will remain undisturbed as long as he lives. So you may repeat. Just as the sun god expands his shining rays up to the Arctic region without impedance, the influence of King Prithu will cover all tracts of land up to the Arctic Circle and will remain undisturbed as long as he lives. So purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Although the Arctic region is not visible to ordinary persons, the sun shines there without impediment. Just as no one can check the sunshine from spreading all over the universe, no one can check the influence of the reign of King Prithu, which would remain undisturbed as long as he lived. The conclusion is that the sunshine and the sun god cannot be separated, nor could King Prithu and his ruling strength be separated. His rule over everyone would continue without disturbance. Thus the king could not be separated from his ruling power. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Tadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusde Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchikalpatarubhescha Kripasindubhevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. So here this verse and purport is describing the reign of King Prithu. So we know we've finished the chapter on King Vena, and now we come to the chapter on the glories of King Prithu. Actually, this this chapter is entitled Praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. So these professional reciters are glorifying King Prithu. And we see there's a short purport here, and he's being compared to the sun. Just like the sun is spreading its rays all over. You are my audience. Just as the sun is spreading its rays all over, similarly, the reign of King Prithu is spread all over the universe, actually, basically all over this this world, the Earth planet, and it's being described here. It right up to just as the sun shines in the Arctic Circle. Right, so similarly, the reign of King Prithu is also, it goes up to the Arctic Circle and, all around. So he's the emperor of the world, basically, right? So nowadays we have different kings or different presidents for different regions, but here there was one ruler, right, and he ruled over the whole world. So we see he's been compared to the sun, right? And in the Bhagavatam, we find there's many analogies of the sun. The sun's rays, basically, are always existing in the sun, right? So Prabhupada gives this analogy that the sun's rays are always existing in the sun. It cannot be separated from the sun. So similarly, the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right, and we cannot be sort of separated from him because we are part of him. But because we have fallen into this material world, and we assumed this material bodies, then temporarily, for a short time, right? Temporarily, we are basically separated from him. But for those devotees who or those persons who acknowledge the presence of God, then he is always near to us, right? Otherwise, for those who have left him completely and don't want to recognize him, like the atheists and people like that, so they actually they want to forget God, but actually they cannot forget him because he's residing within their hearts. So you can. The Lord cannot forget you, but you may want to forget Krishna, right? But Krishna won't forget you because he's within your heart and he knows every act that you're doing, thinking, willing, and feeling. So another analogy is given in the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is that the Lord is the sun is compared to the eye of the Lord, right? In the 10th canto, Krishna's 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the moon and the sun are my eyes, right? So, and we see that because of the sun's rays, we are able to see. Otherwise, we cannot see in the dark, right? Obviously, nowadays there's artificial lighting by electricity and so forth and so on. But in the dark, you cannot see. Right, so it's only by the sun's rays that it gives us vision, actually. And then we see another analogy is Prabhupada compares to Maya or illusion as darkness and enlightenment as the sun. So where there's Krishna or enlightenment, there's no darkness, right? So there's no Maya. But Maya is basically in those places where there's no Krishna. So it is being described that Maya and Krishna is like, basically Maya is the back of Krishna. Because, the back of Krishna is, you cannot see the back of Krishna. So when you see the face of Krishna, that is enlightenment and that is perfection. But Maya Devi is just in the back of Krishna. As soon as you forget Krishna, then Maya takes over, right? So, and the next analogy is given that both by the rising and the setting of the sun, it decreases the duration of life for every living entity, right? The rising of the sun, the setting of the sun, it decreases our lives. One day is gone by, we are coming one day closer to death, right? And but the Bhagavatam says that except for those who are glorifying Krishna all the time, who are glorifying Krishna, then there's no death for them. In that, it means that even when you leave this body, you'll be with Krishna. So now in this material world, we are with Krishna, right? We're always with Krishna by reading, chanting, hearing to Bhagavatam class like this. So we're always with Krishna in this way. But Shishi Radharadhanatha ki jai. And we have our beautiful deities who made their appearance. Krishna made his appearance right in front of you now. So yes, so we're always like this, absorbed in Krishna. But as soon as we turn our backs, I said, to Maya, then Maya gets us like this. So it is being described both by the rising and the setting of the sun. It decreases the life of all living entities, except for those who are constantly glorifying the Lord. Right? So when we are in this material world, we're glorifying the Lord. When we go back to the spiritual world, we'll be glorifying the Lord as well. Right? In the spiritual abode. So, and then it has the analogy is given here, the sun is all pervasive. And the sun being all pervasive, so is compared to Maharaj Prithu, whose reign is all pervasive. It goes up to the Arctic Circle and all around. So I was just doing some research, and the Arctic region actually covers Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Finland, Norway, Russia, and the United States. So part of these places are covered by the Arctic Circle, and it's very, very cold because it's in the North Pole, right? The North Pole is very, very cold, minus 40 degrees, and now maybe minus whatever 60 or something, right? With the climate change and all of that. So we see due to climate change, this ice is melting in the Arctic Circle. And the polar bears that live there, basically they cannot sustain themselves because there's no food, right? So they move up north to find food, right? Where it's more cold and, where they can actually, they live on seals actually. So, they basically, because it's like snow is covered all over, so what they do is they punch a hole in the snow, and then they fish for seals like this, and this is what they eat. So we see that the Prithu Maharaj's glories are unlimited. Why? Because he is none other than the Shaktivesh avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's, he's an empowered incarnation of the Lord. And just as the Lord's glories are unlimited, so too is Prithu Maharaj, and therefore these professional reciters are glorifying him. So I just want to read some of the glorifications that we've already passed. We'll just refresh our minds again, and we'll come back to our verse. So it's the beginning of this chapter, and it says, the great sage Maitreya continued, while King Prithu thus spoke, the humility of his nectarian speeches pleased the reciters very much. Then again, they continued to praise the king highly with exalted prayers, as they had been instructed by the great sages. And the next verse, text 2. The reciters continued, Dear King, you are a direct incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, and by his causeless mercy you have descended on this earth. Therefore, it is not possible for us to actually glorify your exalted activities, although you have appeared through the body of King Vena. Even great orators and speakers like Lord Brahma and other demigods cannot exactly describe the glorious activities of your lordships. Text 3. Although we are unable to glorify you adequately, we nonetheless have a transcendental taste for glorifying your activities. We shall try to glorify you according to the instructions received from the authoritative sages and scholars. Whatever we speak, however, is always inadequate and very insignificant, dear King, because you are a direct incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All your activities are liberal and ever laudable. Text 4. This king, Maharaj Prithu, is the best among those who are following religious principles. As such, he will engage everyone in the pursuit of religious principles and give those principles all protection. He will also be a great chastiser to the irreligious and atheistic. Text 5. This king alone in his own body will be able to, in due course of time, maintain all living entities and keep them in a pleasant condition by manifesting himself as different demigods to perform various departmental activities. Thus he will maintain the upper planetary systems by including the populace to perform Vedic sacrifices. In due course of time, he will also maintain this earthly planet by discharging proper rainfall. Text 6. This King Prithu will be as powerful as the sun god, and just as the sun equally distributes the sunshine to everyone, King Prithu will distribute his mercy equally. Similarly, just as the sun god evaporates water for 8 months and during the rainy season returns it profusely, this king will also exact taxes from the citizens and return these monies in time of need. This King Prithu will be very, very kind to all citizens, even though a poor person may trample over the king's head by violating the rules and regulations. The king, out of his causeless mercy, will be forgetful and forgiving. As a protector of the world, he will be tolerant as the earth itself. So you see the glories of King Prithu and how, tolerant he is. Even though people are stepping on his head, he is still tolerant and forgives very easily, right? Very forgiving. When there is no rainfall and the citizens are in great danger due to scarcity of water, this royal personality of Godhead will be able to supply rains exactly like the King Indra. Thus, he will very easily be able to protect the citizens from drought. Right, that we see that water is very vital for our existence in this world. And if we don't have water, then what's going to happen? In many places nowadays, there's water shortages, or there's some pipe bursts and people don't have water. Like in the North Coast, they went without water for almost 3 months, like that. So, so water is so vital, because 90% of, or they say 70 or 90% of our body is made up of water, right? So we need water. This king, Prithu Maharaj, is virtuous of his affectionate glances and beautiful moon-like face, which is always smiling with great affection for the citizens, will enhance everyone's peaceful life. The reciters continued. No one will be able to understand the policy of the king no one will be able to understand the policies the king will follow. His activities will also be confidential, and it will be possible for for anyone to know how he will make every activity successful, his treasury will always remain unknown to everyone. He will be the reservoir of unlimited glories and good qualities, and his position will be maintained and covered, just as Varuna, the deity of the seas, is covered all around by water. So 11. King Prithu was born of a dead body of King Vena, as fire is produced from Arani wood. Thus King Prithu will always remain just like fire, and his enemies will not be able to approach him. Indeed, he will be unbearable to his enemies, for although staying very near him, they will never be able to approach him, but will have to remain as if far away. As if far away. No one will be able to overcome the strength of King Prithu. 12. King Prithu will be able to see all the internal and external activities of everyone, of his citizens. Still, no one will be able to know his system of espionage, and he himself will remain neutral regarding all matters of glorification or vilification paid to him. He will be exactly like air, the life force within the body, which is exhibited internally and externally, but is always neutral in all affairs. So how is it that Prithu Maharaj, he was able to see what all citizens were doing, and he was, like, as I said, he is like the sun all-pervasive. So how was he able to see what every and each citizen was doing? Because he's none other than the personality of Godhead, and he's situated in the hearts of all living entities. So in this way, he was able to understand what everyone was doing. So 13, 12. Yeah, so 13. Since this king will always remain on the path of piety, he will be neutral to both his son and the sons of his enemy. If the son of his enemy is not punishable, he will not punish him. But if his own son is punishable, he will immediately punish him. So you see that he was fair to every citizen. And, if his own son was punishable, he would punish him. And the son of his enemy was not punishable, then he would not punish him. And today's verse, just as the sun god expands his shining rays up to the Arctic Circle region without impedance, the influence of King Prithu will cover all tracts of land up to the Arctic region and will remain undisturbed as long as he lives. So yes, so we are talking about the Arctic Circle, and how his reign is covered all over, and he's all pervasive as the sun. And we see that King Prithu was actually born from King Vena's body, in that they churned his limbs, and the Lord was born out of there. So we see that the Lord appears in very fantastic ways, right? And he's unlike us. We are born from the womb of our mothers, right? Covered in urine, blood, and stool, pus, like that. So, but King Prithu, he's a supreme personality of Godhead, and he chooses different ways in order how to actually appear in this world. And we find that in this example of King Prithu, he is churned from the body of King Vena, and this is how his body developed, right? And we see as Lord Krishna, he appeared in the womb of Devaki, right? And because in this material world, this is how living entities are born. So when he appears here for our benefit, then he appears within the womb of Devaki, and this is how he basically is born. And he appears in this world, and then he appears as Lord Nishingadev. He appears through the pillar, right? And when Hiranyakashipu struck the pillar, then the Lord emerged in the form of the half man and half lion, in order to kill the demons, or Hiranyakashipu, basically. That was his main purpose for appearing by the plea and prayer of Prahlad Maharaj. He appears as a boar through the nostrils of Brahmadev, right? And we find that the Lord, he appears and then he expands. He appears as the size of a thumb, and then he expands himself to a huge boar, right? And then that's when he vanquishes Hiranyaksha, who was giving so much of trouble to this earth planet that he threw the earth into the Garbha ocean, right? And then the Lord Varaha, with his transcendental tusks, he went and he lifted the earth, right? And he placed the earth back on its orbit. And we see that there's a nice song in this regard of how the Lord appears, and so we'll sing the song at the end. But for now, we'll just talk about the different incarnations and their appearances. We see that the Lord appears as a fish, Matsya, right? And there was a king, Satyavrata, and then he was bathing in the ocean, and then he saw this beautiful fish that came into his water pot. And the fish spoke to him like, "No, please take me out of here and give me a suitable place." And he took him home. He put him in a jug, in a jar. And the Lord expanded himself. And then he took the Lord and he put him into a lake, right, a pool of water. And the Lord expanded himself to the size of the lake, and it was very small for him. Then he says, "I need a bigger space," and he put him in a huge pond. And there the Lord expanded as well. And then he says, "Now you have to put me somewhere else." And then he put him into the ocean. And we see that this fish incarnation is so interesting, because he appears as this golden, effulgent fish. Can you imagine? Like, just visualize it in your subconsciousness. That this beautiful fish, right? Golden in complexion, with a horn protruding through its forehead. We've seen pictures of Matsya, right? And one picture actually depicts this beautiful fish incarnation. And when he appeared as this fish with a unicorn, right? There is a fish like that with a unicorn, and So he appeared as this fish, and I'm just trying to get the name of that fish that appeared as with the fish that exists. It's called. It appears. We'll have to have blue spots on it, so it's called a spotted unicorn fish. And then one with a bluish complexion, basically, and some are golden in complexion, some are whitish in complexion. So there's different types of this fish like that. So yes, last night I went on the internet and I was looking like, where is this fish? I want to see a fish like this with a horn. And then that's when I found these different types of fish. So you can also go look it up on the internet. And we find that, so you know the story of Noah's Ark, right? The Noah's Ark, and how he tried to save everyone, and put all the animals and all the living entities into the boat. So similarly, at the time of devastation, pralaya, the time of devastation, then this is when Matsya appeared, to save the Vedas, right? So he took the Vedas, and so this boat that was there was attached to this unicorn. I got from the Matsya Purana. That's this boat was actually attached to this unicorn, and all the rishis went into this boat, and all the seeds and all the herbs went into this boat. That the Lord saved all of these things. So so it's similar to Noah's Ark, right? So then we find that the Lord appears as a turtle, right? Why he appears as a turtle? Because he has a itch on his back, right? And this huge turtle. Can you imagine? With this huge turtle with this itch on his back. Right? The Lord has an itch on his back, and he appears as a turtle. And then how to scratch this itch, right? So that you have to get this huge mountain, Mandara mountain, and the demons and the demigods were churning this, using this as a churning rod, right? So they placed it on Kurma, and they were pulling from either side, and then this mountain was turning. When you're grinding something, it turns, right? This mortar turns. So in that way, he was relieved of that itch on his back. Now, when we have itch on our back, what do? Right? We take something like a comb or something and try to, relieve the itch. So similarly, now the Lord also, you must understand, he cannot reach his back, right? So he had to use this Mandara mountain. He can and he cannot, but yeah, so he uses, in this pastime, he used the Mandara mountain to relieve himself of this itch, right? And and then sometimes the Lord appears as a dwarf incarnation, and he's so beautiful, small little boy, so beautiful, effulgent, and he cheated the demons of he asked for 3 steps of land, and he expanded himself, so huge, touching the sky, and with one of his feet, he covered this whole material world. So like this, we see that the Lord, he expands like this, and he, in order to establish religiousness, and it is being described in the Bhagavad Gita, paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya chaduskritam dharmastam staparnataya sambhavami yuge yuge. So the Lord comes again and again to re-establish religious principles and get rid of demoniac forces. So in this way, he cheated the demons, and he took over the whole creation, basically, with these 3 steps of land, right? And then Brigupati, Parusharam, he appears as Parusharam in order to kill all the Kshatriya kings and bathe this earth with the blood of these Kshatriya kings and purify this world. So in this way, he appears as Parusharam, killing these Kshatriya kings 21 times. 21 times. Then he appears as Lord Ramachandra to rescue Sita and kill Ravan. We all know the story of Lord Ramachandra. Haladar, he appears as Lord Balaram, right, to assist Krishna in his pastimes, and also to rid the earth of the demons as well. So there's a nice story in this regard of Lord Balaram that is very close to my heart, because when I was much younger, 15 years ago, when I was studying Bhakti Vaibhav, then we had to do a skit on all these incarnations, right? And I did the skit on Lord Balaram, dressed as Lord Balaram, with a blue dhoti and a white kurta, and had a plow in my hand. And in this pastime, where Lord Balaram, he strikes his plow, he calls Yamuna Devi close to him because he wants to bathe in her waters. And Yamuna Devi, seeing that Lord Balaram is so intoxicated by drinking Varuni. Varuni is a beverage that intoxicates, right? But it's not an ordinary intoxicant that we find in this world. It's something very special, that the trees, they ooze out this nectar, and the smell of this, the aroma of this Varuni permeates everything. So Lord Balaram could get the smell, and also the gopis, and the gopis, they went and brought this Varuni and gave it to Krishna, to Balaram. And Balaram, he drank this Varuni, and his eyes started to enroll like this, and his eyes turned red, and so so in that state he's calling the Yamuna, like, come to me, I want to bathe in your waters, and she says, nah, I'm not coming. You are like intoxicated, bathe in my waters, and she says no, she's not coming. And Balaram, he got very angry, and you know that this one quality of Balaram is that he gets angry very quickly, right? And he got very angry, and he says, if you do not come to me, I will, smash my plow into the ground, and I will disperse you into many rivulets, he told Yamuna Devi. And she got a fright, and she says, like, what? I'm going to be dispersed into many rivulets. So she says, okay. Then she offered praise to Lord Balaram. Then that's only when she came to her senses, and she recognized that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And she came to her senses, and with folded hands she prayed to Lord Balaram, and she allowed Lord Balaram to bathe in her waters with the gopis. So this is Lord Balaram, and so I'm just touching on different incarnations. And Lord Buddha, he came to stop the sacrifice of animals and establish ahimsa. And Kalki is a forthcoming attraction, right? Lord Kalki will come in future, and he will rid this world of the demoniac forces as well. So I just want to sing the song now of these verses glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different incarnations. How's that? This is go back. Right, we have it here. It shouldn't take very long. Pralaya payodichale ditavam asivedam vihita vihitra charitramakedam keshavadritam Meena sarira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Meena is referring to the fish incarnation, right? Then we go to the next verse. Shitire iha vipula tareti savatish priste Dharani dharana china chakra garishte Keshavajita kurma sarira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Visati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tavalagna Sasini Salanka Kalevani Magna Keshavajita Sukara Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. This is a famous one. All of us can sing together. Tavakara Kamalavare Kamaruta Shinga Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringa Keshavajita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Chalasi Vikramane Bali Madhuta Vamana Paranaka Nirajanita Janapavana केशवजीता वामन रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे क्षत्रियुधर्मय जगता च अपगत पापं सपयसि पयसि समित भवतापम् केशवजीता भृगुपतिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे वितरसि दिक्षुरनेधिक्पतिकमनीयम् दशमुखी मौलिबलिं रमणीयम् केशवधीता रामशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे वहसि पुषि विपसदे वसनं जलबालं वहसि पुषि वसदे वसनं जलिधाभं हलविति वीति विलितयमुनाभम् केशवजीता हलधर रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे निन्दसि याज्ञविधेरहः श्रुतिजातं सदयशिडायतरिस्त पशुघातम् केशवजीता बुद्धशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे मिर्चनिवाहनि धनकलयसि करलावम् धूमकेतुम् इव किमपि करालम् केशवजीता कल्किशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे. Then the last one is the glorification. Shri Jayadev Kavari Dhamutam Udaram Shrinu Sukadam Subhadam Bhavasaram Keshavajita Dasavidarupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Udhyam udharite jagata vahate bhumgolam udhiprate dayam dharete balim chalayate shatrasham kurvate pulastyam jayate halam kalyate kurnyam atanvate milecham murjate daskrite krite kshnaya tubhyam matamaha. So the translation of the last verse is, O Lord Krishna, powerful obeisances unto you who appear in the forms of these 10 incarnations, the Vedas, as Karma, you bear the Mandara mountain on your back. As Varaha, you lift the earth with your tusk, and in the form of Nrsimha, you tear open the chest of the Daitya Hiranyakashipu. In the form of Vamana, you trick the Daityas, Daitya King Bali, by asking him for 3 steps of land, and then you take away the whole universe from him by expanding your steps. As Parusharam, you slay all of the wicked Kshatriyas, and as Ramachandra, you conquer the Rakshas, King Ravan. In the form of Balaram, you carry a plough with which you subdue the wicked and draw towards you the river Yamuna. As Lord Buddha, you show compassion towards all living beings suffering in this world, and at the end of the Kali Yuga, you appear as Kalki to bewilder the Melechas, degraded low-class men. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. If there's any comments or questions, you can pose them now. Okay? Balaram was the side of Duryodhan because I assume that he was the teacher of Duryodhan. He was a teacher. He was a guru of Duryodhan in that regard, and therefore he had some affection for Duryodhan, and that is why he wanted Subhadra to marry Duryodhan. But Krishna had, he had a different idea, and Krishna's idea actually won. That he married Arjun, right? So in that way, you want to shed some light on this, Prabhu? Yeah. Mm. Okay. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Superior to his, yeah. So he feigns his injunction, to show that Krishna's order is superior to his. Mm. So, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.